Masechet Metzia Daf Nun Amud Aleph. Yeah, excuse the me for being late. We are in the sugya of Tag Reload. Tag Reload is a very well-known sugya. Nice and easy. So the sugya in the Lamdim Nishmas Hen Yerisha Bas Elchon Nitzchok Menachem Ben Akiva Avimoiri Ros Bas Shalom Sor Bas Moshe U Lerefua Ros Bas Shalom Sor Aviva Bas Dvora Moshe Ari Ben Nechomo Nina Chai Bas Gol Arochel Besoch Shochel Yisrael. So. Okay, we have spoken up until now, and we will talk about oino. What's oino? Oino means let's for now talk about overpricing, although it also means underpricing. And we said there are three categories. We have tweaked them yesterday. The Gemara did, yeah. And we said that if the seller wants to and does demand more. A price higher than the market price, and we're not going now into what's the market price, but let's say there's market price decided by the way, in Bava it says decided by Chachomim, certain sizes, whoever decides, be it Chachomim, maybe other bodies. So then we have then what? If person overprices in less than a sixth, what do we say? That the Eved, the Mechila is Mechila. It's a Mechila. Now, we had a question regarding that. When we say it's mechila, what does it mean? Does it mean that's it, no go? In other words, the time frame is immediate. Right away, there's mechila, which means if you left my shop and I sold you something of 6 shekels to play it safe, 6 shekels for 6.5 shekels, or could be 60 shekels for 65, 600 for 650, a 50 shekel, that's a note. And you're very angry. You go back and you come and you go and you tell the person, hey, that's 50 shekels extra, and that's beyond any market price, and that's after making the profit, let's say, it's really unjustifiable. Do we say that that's it? Mechila is assumed to be right away, and you cannot complain halachically? Or do we say, yeah, and this is actually the suffix we're dealing with now. The title of the shir is really this suffix. With all the jungle and balagan, the suffix is, do we say that the mechila is right away? Or do we say that the mechila only takes place when? It takes place only le'achar the time kedey sheyarh letager or lekroivoy, which means only after you have enough time to stroll around the market and show it to other people and ask around, show it to your relative who's been in Israel for a longer time. You have what time to ask the other merchants, and if they have time, if within that frame of time, let's say it's half an hour, they can tell you, hey, you are ripped off, and that 50 shekels is not justifiable, yeah, then we say that within that time frame, maybe you can still go back and demand even 50 shekel, even 1 shekel, even less than a sixth. Yeah, these are two tzdodim. Okay, that's a question. Is the mechila of less than a sixth straight away, or is it within a time frame of b'chedei sheyarh, enough time to show around? Time to show, I think it's called in the chart. Yeah, maybe I should have a chart besides the computer also to have, if you don't mind. Yeah, there is extra. Yeah. Okay, I prefer no.
I'll take a picture of it.
No, I have in the computer. It's fine. I know I'm being also recorded saying this. Okay, now. Okay, what about just 6? Yeah, the guy somehow hit the mark, and the mocher, the seller, then what do we say? Instead of 600, he sold you for 700. The what's the story then? We said 2 options. In the chart later on, it's called something like either or. I don't remember writing myself, whatever. The kids are either one it's called, which means either the person may, who is the person? The buyer, the one being cheated, let's assume it's the buyer, yodoy alel yoino. He can decide either he can storm back into the store and say, excuse me, you sold me for a sixth more, and I know the alohe, and I'm telling you that I'd like to keep that nice shiny phone, but costing whatever, instead of 5,000, you sold me for 6,000, the phone, expensive phone. Yeah, I want to keep the phone, but I want my money back. I want that extra 6 back. That's one option. Or the buyer can also say, Shovrim het hakelim velo mesachakim, as we said as children, don't break the phone, but I return you the entire phone. It's a cancel deal. He has both options of canceling the deal or just returning the extra. What about above 6? Above 6, that's a different story, and there both sides can cancel. We're not going down that lane. Baruch has a good question to discuss after we get out of the jungle. Lemaisa, More than a 6 is for sure can be canceled by either side. Even the one who lied, you can ask why. It's a good question. Thank you. But Lamaisa, it's such a bad deal. The difference is the gap is so great above shishis, above shtus. That's already, unless both sides are interested, of course. Then we say that it's not a deal b'chlal. It's canceled both studies. Now, before we continue, let's remember the story, and we have to know that story very, very well. It's not a hard story. The story is the story of the Mishnah, and every stage of the Gemara will have to reanalyze that story using all the factors. The story of the Mishnah was as follows. Rabbi Talfon, I don't know if it was a local rabbi in Lod or just came to visit, but Rabbi Talfon told the Tagri Lod, which were very shrewd and very savvy and very business and very streetwise and very, those Tagorim, the kids that liked money, he told the Tagori Lloyd, I will, what do? According to me, says Rabbi Talfon, it's not a 6 that you can, which is your kosher margin of not error of margin, of profit, of error of whatever the is right. Nachon. So you're allowed to go above what's expected, absolutely true. In what? You can go above that up to not a 6, but a third. Whoa, a third is twice of a 6. Did you know that? They were so happy. So stage 1, they were happy with Rabbi Tarfon more than with Rabbanon. Obviously, they have a larger margin of profit, or however you call it. Yeah, very good. Extra. Mashain can afterwards came Rabbi Tarfon and told them, I forgot to tell you something, or you misunderstood me. That's what I call the B'tarfon B in the chart. The Tarfon A or B'tarfon B. Or B'tarfon A is a smiley. They were happy. Or B'tarfon B, they were sad. Why were they sad when Rabbi Tarfon came with his new statement? Because he told them, the customer, on the other hand, has longer time to regret. Instead of regretting the sale, and we're talking here, let's say, Nagid in a 6, just a 6, let's assume, or just a third. Yeah, he extended it to a third, right? And they can actually make the margin higher, with more profit. But on the other hand, that allow you to make that profit, the customer, if he comes and he complains and he wants to have the return, he can complain all day long, not just half an hour, which means you don't have the customer in your back pocket. You don't have, like, after half an hour, you don't say, that's a return policy. You can't close the door after, let's say, walking around the market and showing the relatives takes half an hour. You cannot just say, done deal, and boom, half an hour, no, you will still have to wait and biting your nails until when? Until the end of the day. The person may, till the end of the day, the buyer who claims to be an irate customer because he was cheated can come till the end of the day. They didn't like it. At that point, they were sad, meaning said they did not prefer Rabbi Tarfon anymore and preferred Rabbanon, which means, we had that small chart yesterday, but that's easier to understand. In other words, now we don't know why that's better, because each one has a minus and a plus. Each one has a pro and a con, right? In other words, Rabbi Tarfon gives them more money, but also gives the customer rights to come back longer till the end of the day. That's a long time. Yeah, it can be 10 hours later. Hey, I'm back. I thought I'm already doing a done deal. They didn't like that. They preferred Rabbanon, who give them less margin of profit, a smaller margin of profit, or whatever you want to call it, extra profit, right? Plus, on the other hand, I know that after walking around the market for, 20 minutes, half an hour, done deal. Yeah, they have to keep very good time on the clock. Yeah. Okay, but that's what they prefer. That's the story of the Mishnah. Now let's combine everything together, and we're going to start Be'ezros Hashem. Tremendous Yata D'Shmaya will have. Okay, Toshma, we are Nun Amud Aleph. We are 6 lines from the bottom of the page. I also recommend your charts are in the charts. We are in the first chart. Toshma, come and listen to the following. What's a Toshma about? We're trying to prove one point of the two. We're trying not to prove the Chakira, the suffix, the question. What's the question? According to Chachamim, and assuming that according to Rabbi Tarfon, when you say that below 6, or assume according to Rabbi Tarfon below a third, when you say that the person is moichel and the customer has no rights, doesn't mean he has no rights b'chlal. A second after he left the shop or made the deal, that's it, it's a done deal. Or do we say that too, that even below the 6, even in the small margin, do we say that it takes time for the customer, which is not good for who? For the seller, right? It's not good for the seller. He takes time for the customer, b'kedey sheyarh, this or that. Toshma, listen to the following. We're quoting the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that Tagri Lod got back to Chachamim. They told the Tarfon, ciao, ciao, we're not interested in your psak anymore. We're changing rabbis. Because why? Because what you tell us is not a good deal for us. To follow Yul Halacha is not profitable for us. So we go back to Chachamim. They told us what? They told us less profit, but also what? Also less time for him, for our enemy, the client, to go back and drive us crazy. We prefer that. Savruha, the people of the yeshiva, the Amoraim, who studied the Mishnah, they thought they had the following idea in mind. What did they think? Pachas mishlish l'Rabbi Tarfon, pachas mishtus l'Rabbanon dami. Yeah, they thought that below a third, according to Rabbi Tarfon, is like below a sixth, according to Rabbanon. I want to show you a little bit of guidance regarding the chart, and I'm now opening the chart. I don't know if you can see it in the printing, but there's a little bit of different shade in certain checkers. Yeah, in other words, if you notice, look at Rabbanon A1, first chart A1. Yeah, according to Rabbanon, up to a 6. Yeah, let's now assume that the return is partial. You can only get the extra, right? And also, what's the time frame to show around? That's up to 6. Yeah, if you can get anything, it's just the extra. That's for sure. I forgot that. Excuse me. I forgot to add that. We said it yesterday, but maybe I forgot to mention again. Everyone agrees that up to a 6, even if you can get your money back, right? It's only the extra, not the whole thing. That's for sure. You can't completely cancel the deal in less than a 6. That's for sure. Absolutely. There's a perforated line. It's very meduic, this chart. Yeah. Everything is meduic. Yeah, including the underlining. So again, no, my friends. No, this was again. According to Chachamim, up to a 6, what can you do? You either have a time frame of what? You have the time frame of either right away the guy lost, or maybe he has enough time to complain. Yeah, and showing around to his neighbors and friends. But al-tzad that he has time, what will be able to get back? If he quickly comes back to the store after 5 minutes, what will be able to get back? Not the whole thing, only the extra. In other words, somebody sold you something of 60 shekels for 65. You're angry, you came from America, from England, everyone is so nice and honest, and all of a sudden extra 5 shekels, you go crazy. Even if you can go back on that within the time frame of kedey sheyarh, all that's for sure that all you'll be able to get is only the extra, the 5 shekels. You won't be able to cancel the entire deal and say to the Israeli guy, that. No, you'll not, that's for sure. Okay. The question is, do you bichlal have the time to time frame of to show around, or don't you have a time frame at all? Right. So now, okay. Now, let's go back to the Gemara. So now, back to the Gemara. Savro, pochus mishlish. Oh, that's what I meant. Excuse me, back to the chart. According to Rabbanon, as you correctly said, Yaakov, Nachon, Rabbanon's, if you see the thick line, according to Rabbanon, where is it? Between 1 and 2, up to 6 and from 6, right? From 6 to a third, according to Rabbanon, from 6 till a million is the same, right? Their cutoff point is a 6. Rabbi Tarfon, between 0 or between 1 shekel till what? Till a third, that's when what can you do? At that point, what can you do? It's like Rabbanon up to a 6. You can return it. Let's assume now you can return and only get the extra. And what's the time frame? Enough to show around. When do you have full cancellation? When do you have full cancellation completely? According to Rabbanon, above 6. And according to Rabbi Tarfon, above 3. Yeah. What happens to Rabbanon within 6 is exactly what happens. It's a bit confusing because B1 and B2 are really the same. I on purpose did them in 2 checkers. Soon you'll see why. Because the advantage between Rabbi Tarfon and Chachamim, it translates itself to within 6 or above 6. Okay, now let's continue in the Gemara with Rashi. Says the Gemara, Savua, Pochas Mishlish Rabbi Tarfon, whatever Rabbi Tarfon says below 3, Pochas Mishtus L'Rabbanon is less than Shtus L'Rabbanon. Now, Bichdei sheyarh letagar or lekroivoi, right? According to Rabbanon, let's say that you have, if you say, Iyamart bishlama, excuse me, I skipped a line. Iyamart bishlama pochus mishus labonu bichdei sheyarh letagar lekroivoi. If you want to tell me, like the first chart, you want to tell me that he has enough time to show the relative, right? He has enough time to show the relative. That is not immediate mechila, according to Chachomim. Well, Rabbi Tarfon kol hayoim, according to Rabbi Tarfon, what happens? He says, Rabbi Tarfon, no, you know how long it would take him. It's true, I extended till a third. But you know how long the customer can actually show to his friend? Not just half an hour of showing the Tagar Krova, but the entire day. That's very off-putting. Yishmachi Chozru makes sense that now they returned to Chachomim and they preferred Rabbi Tarfon over Chachomim over Rabbi Tarfon Lamaskono. Now, I could very easily continue the Gemara now and just, because the Gemara is understandable in the very Pashut Pshat, right? Rabbi Tarfon gives the customer more rights regarding the time of return, much longer time frame, 10 hours instead of half an hour. And Lefi Chachamim, it's not good. But because I like you very much, you nice people, we're going now to read Rashi, because there's much more to it. We have to understand why originally they preferred Rabbi Tarfon and why at the end they preferred Chachamim. Says Rashi, and then we'll see the chart. The last Rashi in the page, Mishumachi Chozru, Meikare Somchu. At the beginning they were happy. At the beginning they were happy with who? They were happy with Rabbi Tarfon. Look, Rabbi Tarfon is their man, says Rashi. Look inside Rashi, please. Last Rashi. It's a biggish Rashi, the last one in the page. The shtus v'yeshtal shtus and above shtus, ad shlish, according to a third. You can look in the charts if you want. Yeah, you're already familiar. From 6 till a third, according to Rabbanon, havia chazoro betoch kedey sheyarh, right? In other words, if you have the time frame of walking around the market and it was more than a 6, then what can you do? Complete cancellation. Complete cancellation. That's what you're Rabbanon. More than a 6, you can completely cancel. What's the time frame? Walk around, show around to the olim that have been here 20 years and you're here for 20 minutes. Show them half an hour. But if it's not a deal above 6, canceled completely. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, at this chart, I ignored the actual 6. It's also column. I'm ignoring for now the 6 itself. There's either below or above, just to make it simpler for everyone. Right? If he wants to go back and cancel a deal, who? The one cheated, the new American guy, the Tmimus Diki guy, he can cancel the whole deal. That's Rabbanon, right? That's Rabbanon. That's simple. Above 6, hey, I was cheated more than 6. Goodbye. I walked around, showed around, time frame. That's Chachomim. Now came Rab Tarfon, and he was an Ish Besoiro. Rab Tarfon Rab Tarfon, when they were happy with him, the Choshiv Le'ihu, who's Ihu? It's him, it's Rab Tarfon. Comes Rab Tarfon, says, Mechila. Rab Tarfon says, Mechila, the Kono Umachzir Oino, which means, let's look at the chart. Rabbi Tarfon, yeah, look from the stage between, look at 2B, yeah? Look at 2B. That made them very happy. If you look, and that's why I did B1 and B2, because according to Rabbi Tarfon, between 1 and a 6, and Chinami Chachomim and Rabbi Tarfon A are the same at the beginning. But between 6 and 3rd, there was huge difference. Why? According to Chachomim, there's full cancellation. That's not good. That's not good. Full cancellation. I don't want the whole deal to be canceled. I'm the seller. Yeah. And Ken Rabbi Tarfon, I underlined it, partial, only the extra, right? Because he still views that like it's less than 6, right? But the time frame is the same time frame to show around. Okay, same time frame. But Rabbi Tarfon has a clear advantage. What's the advantage of Rabbi Tarfon at the beginning? Clear. According to Chachomim, above 6, between 6 and 3rd, actually according to Chachamim, between 6 and million, full cancellation. Says Rabbi Tarfon, hey, here's the carrot dangling, sweeties, a dagger load. Between 6 and the 3rd, I'm nicer. You know what I suggest? I'm saying that it's the same time for him to show around, but the cancellation, the return, is only partial. Because I viewed kilo, it's less than 6. Very nice. They were so happy. Let's continue in Rashi. When did the romance end? All of a sudden came the bad news, and that's Rab Tarfon B. And it says, no, the whole day, that's it. The whole day, they can go back and drive you nuts and cancel the deal. then he's doing mamish hefsed. The pochus mishtus shtus de rabbanon b'chdei sheyarh. Yeah, according to Rabbanon, it's only b'chdei sheyarh. Mash v'leiu kol hayoim. Now he said that the what? The entire day. V'tzrichin lachzir oino, and they have to give back the oino, which means now let's look at column 1. According to Dunu Rabbi Tarfon, which is row C, yeah, Rabbi Tarfon said between 1 and a third, either below or above 6. According to Rabbi Tarfon, what happens? The return is only partial, not cancellation, because it's less than 6, but the time frame is the entire day. That they didn't like. C1 is worse than A1. What's A1? A1, you can return and get part of it, and the time frame is how much? Just to sheyarh. Just to sheyarh. After half an hour, canceled. Or we keep the computers on and the cameras. I saw half an hour pass and go back. Pashenk and Lefira Bitarfon, already from a very low number, from 1 shekel extra, from half a shekel extra, the guy who was cheated to, the buyer has the entire day. That's not good. That's why I made a sad face, the opposite of smiley, because that is where they lose. That's where Tagora Lud are losing. Everything makes sense. This chart is a good one. This chart really explains to us, and this pshat explains to us why they were happy to begin with, and why at the end they preferred Rabbanon over Rabbi Tarfon. Again, what's the crux of the matter? Because we have one clear azor, one clear area between the basic price to a 6, in which according to Chachamim you have only time to show around, and the return is the same. Rabbi Tarfon says the entire day. That they didn't like. You may ask a question. L'choira Chachamim have a maila. Chachamim have a maila over. Rabbi Tarfon may have a maila over Chachamim. Let's see it in Rashi inside. Now let's continue Rashi. Correct Rashi. That's all very nice. Yeah, unless I don't know if to read this or to continue. Let's read this. Let's go deep. The imishum de l'Rabbanon havi shtus. Now there is one point. If you follow the chart well and the pshat well, there is one point which even Lefi Rabbi Tarfon in his new mode, still there's a point in which you can claim Rabbi Tarfon is still better than Chachamim. When is that? The imishum de l'Rabbanon havi shtus v'yester al shtus. According to Chachamim, what happens above 6? Yeah, chazara. It's full cancellation. Beladidei. According to Tarfon, kono machzir no. Look at the chart. Look. Rabbanon are still better, Rabbi Tarfon is still better than Chachamim, even at the end of the story. Rabbi Tarfon, C2. Look at C2 versus A2. According to Rabbi Tarfon, between 6 and a third, what can you give back? Only partial. You'll drive me crazy all day long, but Lamaisa, drive crazy. At the end of the day, all you'll get is only the extra, not the cancellation. According to Chachamim, past 6, that's a cruel deadline of full cancellation. So why did they go back to Chachamim? Why didn't they stay with Rabbi Tarfon? What? No, they knew already. They knew. That's new. That's after he told them. He told them. Rabbi Tarfon B is after he told them, and they were said, they knew. That's after he told them. No, Rabbi Tarfon B, I don't know if you heard the beginning. No. Rabbi Tarfon A is when they didn't know about the time frame. They only knew it's up to a third. They were happy. Rabbi Tarfon B, he told them, you guys may have not known. Now they know. So Lemaisa, why is it? Says Rashi, why don't you say, listen, that's an advantage for who? Still an advantage to Rabbi Tarfon, because he says you can't cancel. Who wants to have a cancel deal? But you can cancel. Says Rashi, answers Rashi, yeah, Noach lahem, it's better for them, second line from the bottom, sheteh chazora betoch kedey sheyarh, ve'im lo ba, yeah, they prefer this, at the end of the day, if you calculate everything together, they still prefer to have to lose on that side and have complete chazara b'toch kedei sheyarh. Ve'im lo ba b'chdei sheyarh have mechila. They hope they will not come. If they will not come b'chdei sheyarh, it will be mechila. True. It's still better for them. They still prefer to take the risk of having full cancellation, but only within half an hour, than having a return the whole day. Psychology of, I think this is psychology and not math. In other words, when you work on a deal, you want to close the deal. I don't want to have a cancellation. To have a full cancellation, that's a nightmare of a businessman. So although, excuse me, no, wrong. It's true cancellation is a nightmare, but to be able to schlep till the end of the day, biting my nails, not knowing if they'll be returned, not returned, is worse than having the high risk of full cancellation, but only within half an hour. I want to be in danger for half an hour rather than having less danger the whole day, says the Tagar of Lod. 1 second, let's look at the chart again. Again, according to Chachomim, it's true that according to Chachomim, A2, from 6 to a third, the cancellation is full. That's bad news. But the time frame is very short. Shoran. Let's just say, tell him that he wants to meet somebody more knowledgeable, his friend. Half an hour, it's all gone. Like you tell your child before he goes to the doctor. Mashenk and Rabbi Tarfon, you're telling us the whole day. We don't like that. You're giving him what? Less rights mitzad the amount return. Giving the whole day. We don't like that. We that prefer that. And plus the fact, if you look at column 1, yeah, when it comes to less than a 6, up to a 6, yeah, and less, then for sure, clearly Chachomim are much better. Because according to Chachomim, mitzad the partial return, it's only partial, only the extra. And mitzad the time, Rabbi Tarfon is way worse. So the general calculation, Rabbi Tarfon is worse. So again, the summary of the story is, and I'll listen to you soon, we're trying to prove the point that if you say that the return is not complete mechila, not full cancellation, yeah, nimela, then it's very good, or they wanted Rabbi Tarfon, and then they rejected him. However, if you say ... yes, you have something short and to the point, because we're in the middle, really. We have to understand to show the two tzedodim one next to the others. If you can wait with the question. Okay. Back to the Gemara, my friends. We're about to see Pshat B. Back to the Gemara. Ela Yomart. But if you want to tell me the other side, if you want to tell me what? According to Chachomim, less than a 6, bing. You know the stores that have this, like in many parts of the world, ding dong, they have this bell when you enter the store, right? And you go out of the store, right? So let's say, I'm not saying la halacha, stop, to make it picturesque, yeah? In other words, yeah, once I hear the ding dong is out of my store, your fried chicken, you can't go back bichlal if it's less than a 6. Complete mechila. Finished. That's one side, which we want to say now. What was the other side, which we said before? That no, even less than a 6, he may have right to get the extra, that extra bit within showing his friends. If you want to tell me, if you want to tell me once, ding dong, out of the store, it's mechila gmura, there's no way to return. If you want to tell me that both Chachomim and Rabbi Tarfon both believe that mechila is non-refundable straight away, Israeli style. If it's less than a 6 margin profit, whatever you want to call it, extra profit, let's just then you can't go back bichlal. Amai chozru. Why do they go back? We'll first read and then explain. Why did they rush at the end when they knew about Rabbi Tarfon whole day policy? Why did they rush back to the arms of Chachomim and rejected Rabbi Tarfon? But I'm reading and explaining and translating that. But the Rabbi Tarfon nichalu tfei. According to Rabbi Tarfon, they should be happier with Rabbi Tarfon. Why? The mind the Rabbanan kamashvelu oyno. What Rabbanan considers oyno, which means what? Oyno means to be able to return but not cancel. Rabbi Tarfon havi mechila. According to Rabbi Tarfon, then it's complete mechila, which they prefer. Obviously, what does mechila mean? Complete, like can't go back. That's the dream of every seller, right? I just want to see him back completely. There's no rights to come back. So Mimela, Rabbi Tarfon really is still better for them. Why did they go back on him? Chart the text, chart. Look at Pshat B, and that explains to us what we just read. Look at the chart. Up to a 6, according to Rabbanan, that's a cutoff point. That's where we have a thick line. What do we want to now suggest? Up to a 6, we say the return is only partial, but the time frame, and that's the chiddush, is right away. There's no time frame. There is no time frame. You left the shop, boom, that's it. It's less than a 6, I don't want to see anymore. What happens above 6? And lefi chachami, between 6 and billion is the same. But we have to measure between 6 and a third, because that's when they compete with Rabbi Tarfon. Yeah? So then what happens? Well, obviously we all know between a 6 and a third, the time is to show around, right? Oh, look at Rabbi Tarfon B2. Look at Tarfon B2. They were very happy. Why? Because Rabbi Tarfon extended, up to a 6, up to a third. And what did he say? Right away. Right away, up to a third, the customer has zero rights. Up to a third, the customer has no way to show his nose back in the store and demand anything. Oh, they were very, very happy. Very nice. Okay. What happens above third? B3. B3. Above third, well, obviously, that's full cancellation because it's a lemala mishtus, no question. What happened next? Let's go to C. Now comes the big question. What happens in Rabbi Tarfon B? Yeah, what happened to Rabbi Tarfon when he told them the bad news of what? What's the terrible bad news? He told them, no, really, once you hit a third, now concentrate on column 3. Once you hit above third, then you'll have to have full cancellation for the entire day. Says the Gemara with Rashi's explanation, which we'll read, come on. Lemaisa, between 0 and a third, which is a huge amount of money, third of the whole price. That's a lot. Yeah, you have a huge margin of error or whatever you want to call it, of extra profit of lying to everybody, up to a third, and the person has no time frame. Wow, he's out of the store. It's a huge deal. Why are you guys crying? Why did you leave Reb Tarfon? Your babies are Tagari Lud. You make messing us up. Listen, up to a third, guys, you can have what? A third. And the guy leaves your shop after a third more, he can't show his nose anymore. You'll have a guard at the door making sure, yeah? And what? Above 3? Above third, you're complaining like babies. That then he has the entire day. Says Rashi, make sure not to make profit more than a third. Be careful not to get there. Stop crying to me. Yeah. In other words, why it doesn't make sense, claims the Gemara, why they left Rabbi Tarfon. Because above third, are you are you so money hungry that above third you're complaining that the guy will have his cancellation rights, and above third or above 6 to Chachamim, above the limit, everyone agrees there's full cancellation. But the entire day, the chicken down, entire day. What? Make sure that above third you don't get there, and still you have a very, very nice. You still have the big advantage of C2. C2. Look at C2. Now you'll appreciate why I still kept the different checkers even in Reb Tarfon. C2 still remains. Should be happy. That's why it's a smiley face with exclamation mark. It should be. You should still be happy. Don't stop your shtuyot. So Mimela does make sense. We're savvy people, they're smart people. Mimela, the Gemara now wants to prove what? Not stop to complain. The Gemara wants to prove like the first chart. You can go up to the first chart. Must be what? Must be like we said at the beginning, that really the time frame is not right away. The time frame is what? Bichdei sheyarh. The time frame is bichdei sheyarh. If the time frame is bichdei sheyarh, according to Chachamim, and according to Rabbi Tarfon, the time frame is what? Is below 6. The time frame is not b'chdei sheyarh, the whole day. If the time of the whole day is much more than b'chdei sheyarh, avada. So then, of course, they were not happy with the Rabbi Tarfon and went back to Chachamim. But if you say like this pshat, like pshat B, does make sense what they abandoned beautiful and choshev Rabbi Tarfon. Baruch Hashem. It's good. It's gate der Shein.
Rabbi.
1 minute. Now, Zog the Gemara, Mi Sovart. The Gemara now wants to offer an entirely. Do you remember how the Gemara started off? The Gemara started off with the basic premise or premise. The basic premise that whatever Chachamim said up to a 6 is Rabbi Tarfon up to a third. That was always the case in both pshatim, and we played around with that. Yofi. Says the Gemara, we now want to protect chart B, to protect the pshat that say la'alter ave mechila. The mechila is straight away out of the door. However, we can still survive the Rabbi Tarfon story. How come? And now in the new chart, you're going to see we're going to have another column called 6. We know that 6 itself, right? Shtus also has its own value, its own status. Right? I think it's a new page. Misav, I'm reading in the Gemara now. Misavat pochus mishlish Rabbi Tarfon ke pochus mishtus Rabbanon dami. Do you think the Rabbi Tarfon below third is like Rabbanon's below 6? Are you sure about that? Loi, no, you're wrong. Mishtus ve'ad shlish Rabbi Tarfon kishtus atzma Rabbanon dami. In other words, you should compare Rabbi Tarfon not to below 6, but to 6 itself. That's the words of the Gemara, and then plus more information will make everything good. I'm going to the chart and then to the Gemara weiter. Pshat C. You have C? Yeah. The story is as follows. Look at column 2. That's a new column, right? In other words, when I say return 2A, look at 2A. Return either one. Either one means that it's the 6 itself, and the customer is always right. Kemaimer haposuk in America, customer is always right. What does it mean? He can either say, hey, you schwindler, you asked instead of 600, you sold me the kosher phone for 700. Yeah, why did it even make aliyah to this country? Ugh. And what? That exact 6, you were meshaker me, you were me'oine, then what? Either or, either the irate customer can just demand the extra 100, extra 6, yeah, and what? Keep the phone, or can say, I don't want to see this guy again. I don't need your phone, cancel the whole deal. He has the right to do both, okay? Beseder? That's what we say in the punct 6. So now, according to Rabbanon, we're now going back to the pshat of really, you have time to show around, okay? According to Rabbi Tarfon said as follows. Up to a 6, he agrees to Rabbanon. What's the time frame according to Rabbanon? Right away. What was our question again? Don't lose sight from the question. It almost happened to me. The question is below 6, up to a 6, yeah, which is column 1. When it's below 6, do we say that the return, there's no return policy? Out of the door, out of my sight, no return? Or do we say to walk around? We now want to go back, as opposed to what we just said, in our chessboard, we're going to go back to the previous mahalach and say you can't go back right away. And still it makes sense, the story of Rabbi Tarfon. Why? Let's look at column 1. Below 6, everyone agrees the same. And Rabbi Tarfon does differentiate between the 6 and the 3rd. Huge mahapecha. The thick line of Rabbi Tarfon is after column 1. Rabbi Tarfon does acknowledge the difference between 6 and above 6. So below 6, it's all the same. Yeah, you return partial. Yeah. And what's the time frame? Right away. Beautiful. Right away. Nagin. Time frame right away. Now comes the what? Comes the Rabbi Tarfon, and he says, you guys chachamim, you said that when it's punct 6, either the customer can either cancel or do it or that, enough time b'chdei sheyarh. I extend that up to a 3rd. I extend that up to a 3rd. Oh, at the beginning they were very, very happy. Why? Because according to Chachamim, what happens in 3a? According to Chachamim, up to a 3rd, between 6, the full 6, and a 3rd, up to that, Chachamim say canceled, complete cancellation. Says Rabbi Tarfon to Tagar Lod, I'm a nice man. And I'm telling you, no, I extend the punct 6, look in the computer, you spread it weiter up to a 3rd. Oh, wow, that's great. Why? Because the time is not forever. The time, excuse me. That is something which the Gemara is going to say now. The Gemara is going to say now, my confusion was good because the Gemara itself is going to ask the question soon. I'm just spoon feeding you here. The Gemara is going to tell us soon that according to Chachamim, above a 6, you can full cancellation. You're such a liar, both sides can cancel, no deal b'chlal. I'll ask you a question which the Gemara asks later, and that's actually a new question now. Can the person come 10 years later to the phone shop? There are no phones in the world anymore, and he can still say, I was cheated more than a shtus, and I just learned Bava Metzia now. What is there a time frame there too? There are two tzdodim. Now we want to suggest, no, according to Chachamim, forever and ever, the person may be able to go back for his full cancellation. So that's really two bad things. Up to a 6, if he schwindled in more than a 6, according to Chachamim, bad news. I have to be very careful. Ellen said we want to incentivize the business, like the capitalist. Very nice. Chachamim said, listen, guys, there's a gvul. There's a limit. If you do more than a 6 sheyarh, then the guy can cancel the entire deal forever. He can come to you 20 years later, like in, Marks and Spencer, and cancel the whole deal. Came Rabbi Tarfon, which is B3, and he came with a nice news. He said, no, up until a 3rd, wow, that's double. Up until there, I still behave to you in a much better way. What's the return? The return is either cancellation or just get the extra. And the amount of time is just to show around. To show around is half an hour, and Chachamim is a lifetime. A father Rabbi Tarfon is way better. right? When did they divorce Rabbi Tarfon? When did things get sour and they didn't like Rabbi Tarfon anymore? That was in column C. What happens then? What happens when he told them the entire day? Oh, he told them you can do up to a third of the entire day. You may ask why, but Rashi says a big chiddush. Rashi says like this: Lemaisa, there are two factors here that we have to take into account. Obviously, you and I would say that Rabbi Tarfon is still better than Chachomim. Look at C3 versus A3. C3 is the entire day, and Chachomim say forever. They give the customer much more time. Says Rashi, that doesn't matter. Says Rashi, most people, maybe in the Western world it's different, most people don't care whether it's the entire day or forever. They may forget about it. They may forget that they wouldn't care so much, and therefore it's not so significant. But she'enken, the return policy is different, because Lefi Chachomim, full cancellation means both sides can cancel. And if you say either one in 3C, it means the customer has all the rights and not the seller. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it made sense what they didn't like Rabbi Tarfon, because Rabbi Tarfon, when he told them the entire day, they said no, entire day as opposed to show around half an hour versus an entire day in the marketplace when it's all hustling, bustling, half an hour and the whole day makes a difference. They loved Rabbi Tarfon. Once Rabbi Tarfon Ki'ilu in their eyes changed his skin and he said, up to a third, I'm giving you what? I'm giving you the entire day and not what? And Chachamim, wait, Chachamim tell us forever, you tell us what entire day. You're not making such a big difference to us. And according to Chachamim, about the 6, we both can cancel, because I don't like that new American Olay either. He could say, I don't do this with him either, even though he thinks I'm a liar. And according to Rabbi Tarfon, no, only the customer has the rights. So it really makes sense, really, why at the end of the day, they preferred, really, Chachamim over Rabbi Tarfon. Let's see it in the Gemara, and maybe with Rashi. Let's read it now. Misovart, again. Misovart, 4th line. Misovart pochus mishlish Rabbi Tarfon ke pochus mishtus Rabbanon dami. Did you think that Rabbi Tarfon is as good as Chachamim when it comes to a 6, and even extend that good, beautiful matzav of below 6 to above to up to a third? No. Loi. Mishtus v'ad shlish Rabbi Tarfon, from a 6 up to a third, kishtus atzma Rabbanon dami. That's a Rabbanon, as we just explained. Now, I already told you why is it that Rabbi Tarfon is not better than Chachamim? Because Chachamim say forever, and Rabbi Tarfon says what? Bichdei bekol hayoim. But the Gemara didn't know that at this stage. The Gemara doesn't know that. The Gemara asks, Ihochi, if so, b'mai samchu, what's a big glick? In the Havamina, we didn't know that according to Chachamim, you can actually, it's doom. Yeah. What was the big simcha? In other words, if we'd say that according to Chachamim, that bitul mekach of above 6 is bichdei sheyarh, then avada, then why are the Bechlal happy with the Tarfon to begin with? Tifshot, I'm going now to the Maskana. The bitul mekach l'Rabbanon le'olam choizer. According to Chachamim, the bitul mekach of above 6, he can go forever. The guy can come to you 10 years later. The kemadamalo b'Tarfon havi oino somchu. At the beginning, they were happy. Rabbi Tarfon told them, listen, it's first of all, it's oino, which means what? The standard of oino of only looking how much? Half an hour. Half an hour as opposed to forever. Whoa, what a deal. Wow. They allow the guy to forever drive me crazy 10 years later and meet me in shul and scream at me and give me back the phone. And according to Rabbi Tarfon, it's oino. It's very misleading, the word. Oino means oino time. Remember, Mechavrus and I were like, Rashi says, half an hour. Wow. Can you imagine? It's like giving a lifer in prison half an hour instead of a lifetime. They wanted to kiss an Agar Tarfon. Hope it's not disrespectful. He omerlu kol hayoim. That dampened down their fun. When he said no, he didn't return. He explained to them what they misunderstood. When he told them no, kol hayoim. In other words, no, kol hayoim. It's not really that I allow him only half an hour. I allow an entire day. It's true that an entire day is not forever. 1 second. I allow the customer to walk around and still drive you nuts till the end of the business day. That already didn't make them fall in love so much with that. Chazru, to whom they went back to Enochinami, to Chachamim. They preferred already Chachamim. Because remember, Chachamim also have a carrot. According to Chachamim, in that particular situation, both sides have the right to cancellation is in a way good. Because he also can keep his pride and say, I don't like you either, says the overpricer to the new American Ole. Yeah, so he has his dignity also. Lefir b'tarfon, no. Lefir b'tarfon, yeah, it's the entire day. Not exciting so much. It's better than the whole life, but okay, it's not the cute half an hour. Mashenken what? And Mashenken mitzad, the cancellation, the guy, the buyer has all the rights. So that's not so good then. This al kedaitach, to finish off, if now we want to prove that point, back to the chart, we're holding the Isal Kedaitach, the point of A3. Look at Pshat C, A3, that's a Chiddush. We're now focusing on that. How long can you, or is there a time limit to the return and cancellation of the deal when it's more than a 6? We want to now prove Gufa from our story of the Mishnah that would be forever and ever according to Chachamim. Continues the Gemara, because if you say the other way, we want to prove that point. Oh, if you want to tell me that really the frame of time above 6 is kedey sheyarh b'may samchu, then why were they happy with Rabbi Tarfon to begin with? What's a big simcha? They both offer you the same thing. They say yar letagar, and they say yar letagar. Again, imagine yourself that A3 would be just enough time to show somebody else. Then A3 and B3 is the same. What's a big simcha? Maybe because it's full cancellation. That's not. Then what? No, that's not such a big deal, right? What's a big business? Must be the big simcha they had was, as I explained to you, Chachamim told them forever the guy can come back. Rabbi Tarfon said only half an hour. Wow! They threw a party to Rabbi Tarfon. Yeah, but if you said L'fi Chachamim, the time frame was also limited, was also just for that half an hour. Rabbi Tarfon says also half an hour. What's a big difference? They say both sides can cancel, and he says the customer can cancel. That's not such great shakes to support Rabbi Tarfon. Therefore, we want to prove now. So now we're veering a little bit in the sugya, a little bit, and we want to now talk about that. How long does it take, according to Chachamim, for the person to come back to cancel the deal if it's above 6? Yeah, above 6 for sure can cancel. For Chachamim. And is that forever, or is that just kedey sheyarh? Says the Gemara, must be. It was L'fi Chachamim forever, and that was the big simcha when they welcomed Rabbi Tarfon psak that said he's very limited. The customer. I'm stopping with all this American business of customers always right. The customer's always right up to half an hour to show around the market. I don't believe in this lifetime guarantee return, which I know exists in some places in the world. Lifetime guarantee, can always get back to the store and cancel. That's very nice in wherever, Asda. But it's not good for Rabbi Tarfon. Then when Rabbi Tarfon said the whole day, plus the other factor that were less enamored, they say, Bechavrusa said a good thing. Maybe Chachamim have some milas. Maybe Rabbi Tarfon still has a little bit of a mila. You don't change rabbi so quickly, right? That's somebody doesn't like the rabbi's psokim. Takes time. You don't change the rabbi just with a little mila. Yeah, that's not enough to change already from good old Chachamim. Comes the Gemara, and you guys are amazing. And this is actually the end. It's the end of the show. Comes the Gemara now. Now the Gemara wants to make one more twist, and then we're safe. Zog the Gemara, no. You know what they were happy with? Samchu b'shtus atzma. They were happy. We're now offering, yes, the pshat, the L'fi Chachamim, above 6. It's not forever, but only bichdei sheyarh. And still they preferred Rabbi Tarfon at the beginning. Why? The actual 6 itself is where Rabbi Tarfon is better than Chachamim. The Rabbi Tarfon mechila u'l'Rabbanon oino. Full stop. Let me explain this in the chart. Pshat D. Yeah, Pshat D is like this. According to Chachamim, what happened when it's a 6? First of all, yeah, up to a third, the time is to show around. Very, very important. Yeah, that's what we're changing. We changed A3. Pshat D, A3. Checker A3. Yes, we go back to the Pshat. Maybe the time of Chachamim is to show around. You didn't prove to me that for Chachamim, you can go back forever till 10, 15 years later to say, I'm not happy with my shirt because it's overpriced. Yeah? So what's a big maila? What basically he said is like this. Rabbi Tarfon pushed whatever they believe up to a 6. He said up to a 6, including 6, which means what? The return is only the extra. You can't cancel a deal less than 6, that's for sure. And the time frame is right away. As we said, it's right away. Elamai, what did we say at 6? A2, Lefi Chachomim, says Chachomim, either one of the customer can do either cancellation or a partial refund or full refund, but the time is limited to show around, not right away, but a little bit limited. Kedey sheyarh. That's unfortunate Mishnah, by the way. Comes Rabbi Tavin and says that point, that spitzele, that's the kudal of a 6, that I apply from 6, full 6 till 3rd. They were so happy. Why? Because Lefi Chachomim above 6, A3 is full cancellation. According to him, and it's in to show around. Lefi him, no, it's full cancellation. It's either one. Yeah. Now comes Rabbi Tarfon and says, no. It's not to show around. It's the entire day. What a letdown! Entire day is really disappointing for us. The entire day, because according to Chachamim, A3 is to show around. To show around is less than the entire day. We prefer Chachamim. They give the customer less time to drive us crazy, and therefore you can't prove the point that above 6, you can't prove anything with Chachamim. Chachamim can work both ways very nicely, whether above 6 is really to show around or forever. Even if it's to show around, it still makes sense. And by the way, let's just continue one line, and that's it's not new, but just you should appreciate Iboilu. We're starting a new question, which was really touched upon now. Bitol mekach leRabbanon, when Rabbanon say can cancel the deal, le'olam choizer. Yeah, doesn't mean the customer can come back to you after 20 years and say, you cheated me on that 6. Or even after 6, which is full cancellation and full sheker gomor, is it only to show the tag or lekroivoy? Repeat, review, revise. You have the chart. You have a long day ahead of you. And Be'ezus Hashem, all will be even clearer. I'm sure things are somewhat clear, but imagine yourself this more without the chart, huh? Have a terrific day, Be'ezus Hashem, and may we all be zoiche leor bar Torah. This upcoming page is more or less the same. Chavrusa told me it's easier. I didn't yet see it. Be'ezus Hashem will all be good. Thank you.